It's not just his beautiful house that Eric Foster loves so much, but the view from the back and everything living on the water means.
I love to fish, and I just think there's something peaceful about the water.
He's just 3 houses away from Lake St. Clair. He lives in Harrison Township in what the government has designated a floodplain. Have you ever had a flood here?
No, we haven't. In fact.
And the real kicker for him?
So what we have is our living space is up 3 steps from the garage area.
Okay.
So we're up, we come down these steps to the garage level, and the garage level is the only area right now that is below the floodplain elevation.
But still, every year, Eric and 25,000 other Michigan residents get a bill for government-mandated flood insurance. In Eric's case, it was $1,800 last year.
I just view it as a tax.
And he gets a flood insurance bill as well for the marina he's owned for 26 years.
It's something that we don't need, yet we're being forced to pay it by the federal government. I would say the residents of Michigan are getting the short end of the stick.
And he's not the only one who believes that.
Quite frankly, my home state of Michigan feels like the ATM machine for this flood program.
This is Michigan Congresswoman Candace Miller on the floor of the House arguing against the federal program that requires people with a mortgage to buy flood insurance if they live in a FEMA-designated floodplain.
This program keeps paying claims year after year so some Americans can continue to live in flood-prone areas. That's fine if they want to live there, but I don't know why those people in the Great Lakes have to keep paying for these repetitive claims year after year.
Numbers from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, show from 1978 to 2009, Michigan residents have paid over $264 million in flood insurance premiums. We've gotten back just $44 million. Only 3 times in the last 30 years did Michigan residents collect more in claims than we've paid in premiums. In flood-prone Louisiana, by contrast, that's happened 11 times. So our money is going to help pay their claims.
It's unfortunate that they have hurricanes or that they have flooding, but when you have 1% of the claimants who are receiving 30% of the payouts, it's because you have a home in a floodplain that has to continually be replaced. And I'm sorry, you should either pay that yourself or move.
And get this, the average Michigan flood insurance premium is $786 a year. In Louisiana, it's $669. And in Florida, another flood-prone state, it's just $467. A recent report from the General Accounting Office states additional study would be required to determine whether policyholders in some states with lower losses are paying a higher premium than is appropriate for the risk, and others paying too little. For the past several years, FEMA's been redrawing floodplain maps across the country. Some homeowners in our area who have never had to pay for flood insurance before do now, and others are paying more than they used to.
I feel that our legislature should truly look at opting out of this flood insurance program because it is costing the Michigan residents dearly.
That's what Congresswoman Miller wants to see. But for now, what can you do if you find your home in a floodplain? Well, you can hire a property surveyor to come out and help determine if your land is truly below the designated floodplain level. Many people have done that and have found their property is not. They've gotten a letter of map amendment, which gets you out of paying. Eric did that years ago and was successful, but then the government raised the floodplain up 14 inches. So now, yes, even though just his garage is under the level, he's stuck paying. After I began putting together this story, I heard from many other people complaining themselves about the insurance they're required to pay, and others stressing the importance of flood insurance and the real risk that living in a floodplain presents, even if it's been years since there's been a flood. Congresswoman Miller just wants fairness. She'd prefer we opt out of the national program and self-insure, which she says would lead to more reasonable rates. Governor Granholm never got on board with that idea. Maybe Governor-elect Snyder will. You can find a lot more information about this story at WXYZ.com. I'm Joanne Purton, Channel 7 Action News.